this is something I learned from my first daughter.
Yeah.
Was to how to have any positive outlook on life at all. Like I learned it from her. I let her lead me out of the wilderness of that. Because to me, it's like as soon as she was born, my first thought was, when is she going to realize that this is life is torture? Like, when is it going to hit her?
When does it hit?
Because she looks so happy, and she, I thought, because I always used to think about birth as this awful, you were in a womb and it was warm. Your body was filled with warm fluid. Like there was no conflict.
Like being in the Matrix.
Yeah. Taking a breath is an immediate, like it's an invasion.
Yeah.
You can feel your body attack whatever came in that shouldn't have. The air is a little cold. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like that's the way I look at life as a struggle, just being alive.
Right from the get-go.
Yeah. So I figured a kid is born, and then they're like just irritated and angry, but she was so positive. She was so happy to be alive. And so I realized to her, somebody taking, her reaching out to somebody and then walking away, she's like, well, somebody, something else will happen. I can do this by myself. Your kid isn't stupid. Your kid is just looking at life from a positive. Your kid's not like, oh, fuck, that kid walked away from me.
Because that's what you say.
That's what you feel.
That's what I'm seeing, actually.
Yeah, but you let the kid follow the kid's example. A baby's a perfect person in a way. They're like an animal. They're like that. You can learn what human beings are really like from babies,
right?
Because you're seeing a human instinct without any
bullshit
shit that's been pumped in from
so
other
you get
people.
It's like babies' diets are perfect. Because they just eat what they need. So all of a sudden, your baby will only eat carrots for like a month. Well, it's beta carotene deficiency.
Just needs that.
Yeah, your baby's not like, oh, I can't stop fucking eating carrots. Your baby just wants that thing for a while, and they'll stay away from the grains you give them or whatever.
I'm fucking learning some stuff today.
This to me though sounds like parenthood is a fucking nightmare. I don't see it.
Great.
No, it sounds like it's just years of this emotional roller coaster that a human shouldn't have to go through.
It is.
It's just.
But the attachment you have, it's hard to explain. It is great. I'm with Louis. I'm all in. I love it. But I'm trying to learn.
Well, yeah.
I'm trying to learn my way around it.
Well,
still.
that's so. As long as you're doing that, you're fine. As long as you're actually trying to learn and not trying to hold on to what you were like before.
Oh no,
that's it. Just say goodbye, huh?
Oh yeah, but that's
a lot of that's
positive. You get rid of shit that because your life becomes just a series of cravings and disappointments and gray versions of shit that you thought you were going to get. But if you give up on all the things you thought you used to want, you start getting new shit from it.
A lot of that stuff has already left me. Absolutely. Yeah. I got some things I got to figure out, like how to not curse at little kids and things like that.
Right.
But in general, my life is drastically
The fact
different.
that you leave that situation introspective and asking questions from people means that you're doing fine.
Yeah.
If you were just such a fucking kid and I said, fuck you, and his mom looked at me, I was like, fuck her. And then if you just stayed that way, people that you can just see, that guy's not thinking about what he's doing. He's not even gaining from the guy.
This might be impossible for you guys to even consider because you're so emotionally attached
but this
to your
just sounds
children.
like a hassle to you.
I understand. But are there things that you absolutely can't do now that you would love to be able to do, but you have kids? Like, I understand the great part is having the kid and there's all that love stuff and everything.
Yeah.
But like that aside, and I don't even know if you could put that aside, but if you could, put that personal thing that you're in love with this little human being. Are there things that you're like, fuck, man, I really want to do that?
Yeah, but some of them die down after a while, and you can do a lot. I can't think of anything I really can't do that I want to do. I mean, I wouldn't mind moving to another town. Sometimes I think about that.
Yeah?
Like, at this point in my life, what if I could move to San Francisco or Philadelphia for, or Canada or some shit? I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't really do it because I got to maintain my kid's life. So there's a stability that I got to maintain.
Yeah, it seems
that I
to
can't
me...
walk away from. But still, I mean, to me, the best thing in the world is to have kids and then get divorced. Because then you really can do anything you want.
Because it's more the wife that would hold you back
That's
than
exactly
the
right.
kids.
I have my kids half the week, and even if you get along with your wife, you have to make bargains and compromises with pretty much every moment of your life. Especially once there's a kid, you start you got to share that responsibility. So you start every moment. It's like, where are you going? If you start leaving the house, wait, what are you doing? Because I would like to get the fuck out of here.
Oh, okay.
So where are you going right now? It better be, I'm just going to walk around. No, not good enough. You're sitting here. Because I'd like to walk around. So neither of us is going to get to walk around.
So we'll just be miserable.
We're just going to
sitting
sit
in
here
this
with
room.
the fucking baby till one of us has like an emergency reason to get out of here. That's what it starts to be.
We take turns.
That's horrible.
We don't spend as much time as we used to together because we're taking turns because we don't have a lot of help.
It's really smart to do that, to take turns.
But we take
not
turns, like,
sink each other.
you just made a great point. Why are we both sitting here?
Stupid.
One of us can watch the kid. You know, I do a lot of quality things with my son. So now I'm going to go to the gym.
Yeah.
She has her thing she wants to do, and we kind of take turns. But unfortunately, that means we're not together as much as probably we would like.
Wow.
But we understand that.
It's great that you're doing that. And if one person's awake, the other person should fucking be sleeping.
Yes.
So that they'll be useful when the other person finally taps out. It's just the dumbest thing in the world. It's like having if you're driving a car and then you go just turn the other one on in the garage and let it run while you're driving one car.
Makes no sense. Louis.
Why would you do that?
Yeah, why would you
Because
do
the
that?
car that's driving is like, no, if I'm out here dragging people and groceries around, you're going to at least be running, you piece of shit. Like if your cars were married to each other.
A lot of parents make that mistake where they put the kid in the room or whatever, and they both have to stay awake all night. He's making an amazing point.
If you guys have a good relationship then, because the only reason to share that shit is because you don't like each other.
Right.
Because you want to put each other through shit.
Through some hell.
No, that's the best is when you can do that. And you're doing the right thing by spending a lot of time with your kid because you start getting, it's like the thing you're dismissing in the first sentence. Yeah, I get the love, but.
Okay, that's
thing,
the big part.
That's the huge part.
It's like saying, look, I get that you like living blah, 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 but why not kill yourself? I mean, granted, life is worth living. Death is terrifying, but still, why don't you just die?
But there is a sacrifice that's being made by having children. I don't know whether it's that important of a sacrifice or whether the child is such a great thing that the sacrifice isn't even a sacrifice to you.
Well, for dads, it's the thing that you don't know automatically is that you should be with the kid.
Right.
So I kind of had this instinct, be with the kid is a lot. And then it's not a sacrifice. Like the fucking shit you have to do, the amount of errands you have to run, and shit you have to go, the logistics of keeping food and supplies in the house. Well, the thing I started doing is just always bring the kid with you. Mm-hmm. Always, I'll take him, and then the mom is like, fuck, great. Because your kid is great company. They're great. They're really fun to be with. If you go out, I used to love going out shopping for 50 things as long as I had my daughter with me. She's just somebody to talk to.
Right. And you see the world through their eyes.
Yeah, you get to show your kid like I used to go to the supermarket, which I used to hate doing. Yeah. But I'm like, I take a watermelon off the shelf and put it in her lap. Look at this. It's a fucking watermelon. You never seen one of those before, have you? And she's got this green. She's never seen I handed her first watermelon. And watched her look at it and go, Jesus.
That's amazing.
And she just held it in her lap.
I always Travis laughing his ass off, too, because Travis is a new dad. We're relatively new, 2-year-old.
2-year-old. Yeah, that's right.
So Travis gets this, too.
I always gave my daughter access to the real world. I don't believe in, toys are shit. Toys are like fake things.
So, but a watermelon is like, holy shit, that's a watermelon.
Or just give her your computer. Just here, take this. Just give her fucking movie cameras and shit to just hold and
see, whenever I see
fondle.
kids doing that, all I can think of is they're going to break it. They're going to fuck it up.
They might. I might break it.
I think
I don't care.
True.
I don't take care of my shit anyway.
Following your logic, like you don't have a connection to the kids, so it's hard to explain.
Right.
Like you just see like other people's kids, and you're like, why would you do that? But as soon as your son is born, your life changes fucking instantly.
Yeah.
And it's hard to explain to anyone. And then maybe some of the stuff you miss, like we used to go down to the Caribbean every year. This year we didn't go.
Yeah.
I miss it, yes. But like Louis says, it's sort of pushed down, though. I'm not craving it like, fuck, I can't believe we didn't go this year. It's okay.
Yeah.
And it's just okay.
See, that was my point. Like, that's okay.
Yeah, but we're going to go next year, and I'm going to bring the kid, and I know we're going to have a great time.
Everything they do that fucks with you is positive in the end. Like my kids, when they'd wake me up at 6, and I went to sleep at 3 because I'm a night person.
Well,
they wake me up, and the feeling in my brain would hurt a lot. Like, I don't want to fucking be up right now.
Yeah.
But within 10 minutes, we're talking. I'm talking to them.
Holy
and they're in the morning, they got a good attitude in the morning. I've got one eye open, and I'm going, yeah, what? Daddy, I had a dream. Okay, what? And I'm just listening to it, and then I'm like, "Wow, you had that dream? That is, Then you're getting into conversation with your kid, and they're nice to you. I mean, some people have a contrary relationship with their kids, and they are always, Dad, like those kind of kids.
Yeah.
Fucking, I would tap right out of that life. I'd fucking dye my hair and get the fuck out. I wouldn't be able to do it.
Yeah.
Both of my girls and I have really good and the little one and I, we fight sometimes and is contentious, but never feels like a bad. Fun.
Yeah.
It's also when your kid is being an asshole, it feels good to know you're there to correct it and to say, nah, you're not. Like when I lock horns with my daughter, she wants something and I'm not going to give it to her and she's crying, I feel great.
Really?
Yeah. I feel great that I'm there showing her, you don't get that. You don't get to have it.
And
why? There's not a good reason. You just don't.
You just don't because I said so.
You just don't.
And there's no embarrassment in public places with temper tantrums and
couldn't
stuff.
Care less. No,
you couldn't care less.
Yeah, I don't think I'm
shut
going to
the world out
either.
You don't care
because I hate that. I look around and when kids are being like loud and stuff, I don't mind I do mind all the time. But there are certain places I understand. Like, all right, I'm in a mall. There's a kid, he doesn't want to be here. He's going to be yelling and screaming. I could get away from the situation. But there are other places, movie theaters, things where I'm like, shut that fucking kid up or take him the fuck out of the movie. You're missing the movie. Take your kid out, pick him up, go out to the lobby and fix that problem.
Well, but if the kid is the same, I mean, the kid, I always, though, also remember that your kid is a citizen of the country, too. Your kid has rights. Like, I go crazy when people, like, fucking knee my kid in the face because they're not looking.
Holy shit!
They don't give. A lot of people don't give a shit, and it's like my kid has fucking rights. So to me, it's like the kid who's yelling in a movie theater is no different than the fucking dirty Hispanics you were talking about. Yeah. It's the same thing. They're just being loud assholes. The kid is. Yeah.
Don't you think you could avoid some of that stuff by raising them properly, though? I know you're not going to be perfect, but
I don't think my
kid's going to be acting up in.
No, my kids wouldn't do that.
Yeah?
You can tell when you look at the parent that they're weak.
Yes,
and that they don't do it at home. They don't try. They get underwater with it.
They're allowing too much.
Yeah,
I don't too much.
No, my kids don't. They don't make a scene. They generally don't.
Yeah,
and if they and also the other thing is people get too bent on getting through their day the way they planned it. So when your kid explodes and you're trying to push through the day, I cancel everything.
Yeah.
If we're getting into a hairy thing with one of the kids, I just put everything down on the sidewalk and sit on the sidewalk and go, "We're not going now."
See, you have this.
Let's talk about this. That's because I don't have. That's because I'm not married.
Yeah.
I get to do that.
Wow.
If you're married, you got to fucking plan everything. This is again, if you're getting along. This isn't a bad marriage,
right?
You have to plan everything. You have to agree on every fucking detail of how something's going to go down, and you have to stick to your plans. That's a nightmare. I took my kids camping a couple weeks ago, and the reason it worked is because I was able to do it myself, and I had the power to pull the plug on the whole thing.
You did your way.
Yeah, I said let's just get in the car and just go south. And I went to a sporting goods store with the girls, and I'm buying a tent and sleeping bags, and they're like, "Are we going camping?" I was like, "We might." I said, "I don't know yet. I haven't decided if this is going to happen. We're going to buy these things. We may or may not use them." So we put all this shit in the trunk, the camping stuff, and we drove. In my head, I was like, I didn't have a place to stop, I didn't use a map. I just fucking drove down the Jersey Shore, and we saw a hotel. So let's stay there tonight. Stayed in a hotel. Next day, I always had the option to just run back home.
It's like you're on the lam.
Yeah, exactly. Found a ferry that goes to Delaware from New Jersey in Cape May, and this beautiful ferry boat. Just found it. Went to Cape May.
I'm all about that.
Oh,
I don't like a plan.
It was so
jump. I just
good.
want to jump in the car and go sometimes.
And the kids don't know, and they don't give a shit. And then there's a state park. I see a sign for a state park, and I go, hey, do you want to go camping and sleep in a tent tonight? And they're like, yeah. And so I pull over. But again, as I'm putting them, I never looked at the instructions for the tent. I opened the tent at the campsite.
Yeah.
And as I start building it in my head, I'm like, if this gets gnarly, there's a fucking hotel 10 minutes from here.
yeah.
We'll just go to the hotel.
Kept it.
Yeah,
safe.
but we did it. We spent the night in the middle of the wilderness.
Yeah,
A 6 and a 9-year-old, and there's a well with a pump, and they were cleaning and making. We made dinner. It was fucking amazing. It was one of the greatest nights I ever spent on Earth.
it's the best way to do things. I was recently in Philly for a birthday party, and we had to go all the way up to Rochester to hang out, at Brother Weeze's place. He has a cottage on the bay. So we're leaving, and my wife goes, "Where are we staying tonight?" And we were leaving at 8:30 at night. I go, "I don't know yet, but I'll figure it out." And to me, that was really exciting.
Yeah.
I know there's a million motels out there. We're not going to sleep in our car.
No.
But I don't know where we're sleeping yet.
No.
I don't know how many hours I want to drive. We might drive all the way.
Yep.
I might get a cup of coffee and just make it all the way to Rochester. Or we might stop in an hour because I'm like, fuck this, or maybe 3 hours. And it's freeing.
See that?
It is. It's great. I mean, that's what with my girls, I called it a road trip. We just said, we're on the road. We're not going. Where are we going? I don't know.
Yeah. No real
we just went on a road trip, and because they're not fucking nosy grown-ups.
They don't have to know.
Well, how far is it? Where are we going? Can you just find out? Can you call? They're just in the back seat reading and having a good time. And then once in a while I'd stop and go, get out here. What is this? It's a national preserve. Look at the birds. They're like, wow. And then we're camping. We fucking camp. We wake up, we break camp. And then next thing you know, they're in Washington, D.C. They had no idea how close they were. I'm like, this is the nation's capital. Look at Abraham Lincoln. They're like, oh, my God. And I wrote my manager right before I left because I thought I might be in D.C. to say, do you know anybody at the White House? It's like, do I have any connection to the White House? But they didn't know this. If I had a wife, I think I might be able to. Do you really know anybody? Did you get us the thing at the White House? But that morning I woke up, the morning we got to D.C., and they said, we got you a tour with one of Obama's speechwriters has a fucking he wants to get into comedy.
Oh, shit. So you had to listen to his
so I just take my daughters to the White House. They have no idea. Just come on. Just come over here. And we go up to the gate, and I tell my name, and they open the gate to the fucking White House. And we walked in and had a personal tour by this dude.
And looking at it from a kid's perspective, that's way better.
It's a great day.
Because he has they have no idea what's going to happen.
But they also don't have an idea that is an amazing dad right there.
Oh, yeah.
That is like
I went to the White House.
Super dad just took him camping, White House, friggin' a hand pump.
Yeah.
That's great shit.
It was insane.
And that's not like, fuck, all right, let's go,
But anyway,
let's go to the mall, buy some shoes.
Exactly.
What Louis teaching, it's not like everything has to be planned and stuff. You could just go with it, even though, like in my case, it's a 14-month-old. You would think maybe we should have a planned fucking.
And that's the thing I
set
always
up.
thought, like, okay, and from hearing, spontaneity like disappears when you have kids.
Well, I'm
but
sure
you
a little
just
bit.
like that.
Oh,
to
look,
me,
you're on your own.
Is the ultimate in
You
spontaneity.
can do it, and they don't know how. I mean, I'm sort of looking ahead a day, and I'm looking at possibilities. I'm using my iPhone and finding shit.
Sure.
But if the White House thing had fallen through, they never would have known it was even on tap.
Yeah, right. No disappointment.
No, you just okay, we got this. Come on over here.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
You could have gone to the park across the street
Yeah.
and look at homeless people, and that would have been cool too.
And then at the end of the whole
You know?
trip, we had to drive home. So it was like 5 hour drive.
Yeah, that's
and
about
I
right.
told them, you're going to pay for the trip now. It's 5 hours of driving through fucking New Jersey. It's not going to be in Delaware.
Yeah.